Okay, for today's video I'm going to show you a quick repair for a common problem that you'll get on an original Nintendo. So normally when these break you'll get something like a blinking red light. That's called a lockout. So that would normally mean either your pins are dirty or there's a chip inside that has locked you off from playing games. It's essentially like a region free, but whenever you put a game in, it just won't work. You will get like a blinking green screen or white screen, pink screen. It's whatever color, but the light here will flash, and that's the problem. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix that. So I just bought this version. It's a Nintendo Hong Kong version because that's where I live, and I'm going to show you how to fix that because I had a previous Nintendo that I use now had the same exact problem. And I picked this up for like maybe $10. I think if you say US dollars, like $10. And because they think it doesn't work, but I know it does, and I know how to fix that. So we're gonna skip over to the TV, and I'm gonna show you what the problem is. Okay, so now we're over at the Nintendo, and I'm gonna show you what the problem is here. So we'll put the game in, as we do, and this is the EverDrive, and I know this works because it's on my good one. And we put it in, power up. Now we just have a flashing light with a flashing screen. Now that's the problem. Sorry, that's not focused in well. Is that? Yeah, wait, okay, you get the point. So yeah, we're gonna fix this. So it's either dirty pins or it's the lockout chip. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna clean the pins and then we're gonna try it. And if still fails, then we're gonna fix the lockout chip. So let's skip over to the table. Just a moment. Okay, here we are. So we're gonna turn it over, and there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws that we're going to remove. Normally when I do this, because it hasn't been open in a while, you just kind of little push until there you have a little click, because the plastic will kind of be welded into the system, and it's quite stiff to remove old screws like that. But you really want to take your time when taking out these kind of screws, because as you can see, the plastic here, can I zoom that in, is kind of stuck on like that because it's so old. And putting them back in, you want to really try to put it in the same socket. I'll explain that later. So I'm going to quickly remove these, just taking my time, and just give me a moment. This one doesn't want to come out, so I'm going to guess it's already loose. It's kind of just rotating inside, it seems, in there, so it doesn't want to give. Alright, it's fine. So next one. Okay, we're gonna try, see if it will lift off. Now, 2 screws are refusing to come out, but it might still come off. Yeah, okay, we're good. And these were not broken. That's great. Okay, so there's 2, we're gonna put that aside, and those 2 screws should have just fallen out now. Yeah, there's one. Another one here is refusing to drop out. There's 2. So here we are, and what we want to do now is remove the metal. So there should be quite a few here, because there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 screws to remove here. We're going to try that. And yeah, they're a bit tight because they haven't been removed probably ever since it was released in the factory. This is a 1985 model, so That's 36 years old. I know that because that's when I'm born. We're going to keep going. And we're going to remove all these screws. Okay, so we have one more, and then this piece should come up. Oh my god, it's so tight. Oh, it's so dusty in there. It's really corroded. Yeah, but there we go. It will give eventually, and then screwing it back in, it won't be a problem. They should go straight back in, and then later when removing it, it should have the right slack. So this is gonna come off. It's a little fiddly. It'll just kind of scoop out there. So yeah, it's pretty dirty. We're gonna clean that. I'm gonna clean that shortly. I've cleaned the cover. It does need retrobrighting, but I'm not going to retrobrite it yet until I'm sure it can be working. So there's another screw that refused to come out earlier. Put that over there. And let me just put that in camera. Okay. So we need this part here. And I can fix that right now without having to remove it. So just a moment. Okay, so what you're going to want is 99% isopropyl and a toothbrush. And this might not work, but there's a chance it will. And before doing any kind of lockout chip, you don't want to really cut it if you don't have to. It could, and at the same time, with something this old, you really want to clean it anyway, regardless, whatever you're doing next. So what you'll want to do is you want to dip it into the isopropyl, and because it dries so quick, it won't really matter. You want to get in deep, just brush it like this, scrape it deep. It doesn't really matter because it will dry very quickly. Yeah, you can see a bit of dirt is coming out of that. So we're going to clean it very deeply, and then I think that should be almost enough there. Okay, that's easy enough, done. So because it's so quick drying, it will be dried in a few seconds. So just wipe off the residue, what's left. I mean, I can while we're at it, just wipe this all down here, prevent any more dirt getting in. So yeah, it's pretty filthy. That is so rusted though. I'm wondering about how to replace that in the future. This part here, you see, it's so rusted. Not sure how long this would last before it become a problem. Anyway, so we're gonna wipe that down. Like, oh, it's not that bad actually. But yeah, that's like filthy. This is why when you buy like used tech like that, oh, I can kind of just brush it down. This is what happens when you buy like old tech. You really want to just give it a good scrub before you really just start using it. Get rid of any potential problems in the future. Oops, that's a bit too hard. Give it a good scrub. Let me take a look at the board just a moment. I mean, yeah, it's pretty old. A bit more, yeah, we're good to go. I'm using tissue paper. You really don't want to use tissue paper when drying it off. You really want to be using kitchen paper. Kitchen paper is a bit more firm, a bit more durable, whereas when you're using toilet paper, pretty much it rips easy. You see, it doesn't hold it together very long. So we're gonna do that. And I've given it a good thorough clean inside of the pins. So, I mean, if it's gonna work, it's gonna work now. If not, then I'm gonna go deeper and I'm gonna show you the lockout chips. So let's plug it back into the TV and see if that works. Okay, so we are plugged up. Now we're going to put a game in and just see what happens. So power on. Again, it's the same thing. It's the same flick. So same flickering red light. So we're gonna go on to the lockout chip. Okay, so now we know what the problem is, being the lockout chip. We are going to dig deeper and we're going to remove the black part, the cartridge case. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there should only be 6 screws for this part. So I'm going to just move these aside. I don't want to get I don't want all these mixed up. It's a good thing about these mats is you can put your screws in their own place. It's hard to really get confused where things are. And they're just so tight in, you see. Alright, anyway, so we're gonna remove all these and then we're gonna be onto the board itself where I can show you the lockout chip. Okay, so all the screws should be off. This whole thing should just lift out. It's got to come out of here because the actual pin connector is attached to the board, so it's a bit of a fiddle, but it should just slide out with a bit of a pull. You don't want to pull it too hard, but it will come out. Let me just try to get my hands on it. Let me just confirm that I do actually have all the screws are out. Okay, so why are you putting a resistance on me? Get the hell out. There, it's just because it's been there for so long. There we go. Okay, so that's off now. Put that aside. That's actually quite clean. It's really good condition actually. So, alright, what do we have? So the chips are on the back side of the board. You have to actually flip the board off. You got to get all the way down. So that's what we're going to do next. Let me just clean up and assess what we need to do first, because I haven't done this in a while. Yeah, we're held on by the corner, the power itself, and when we flip the board upside down, these are going to need to be disconnected from the board, and then the board can sit flat out of the machine. So there should only be, I think there's only 2 screws. I will check, but I know there's one here. So we will go ahead and remove that one first, and I'll just quickly check if there's a second one over here. Okay, so that's out. Yeah, that's what I said. There's a second one down in this corner. Okay. Pull that out, and there we go. That's a ton of screws, though. Look at all that. There's here. You got all that. So, remembering where they go back, you must be careful. Don't put the wrong one in the wrong place, or you might damage it. So, I think that should be enough to just pop out. There we go. Yeah, it's correct. So the actual board itself can come off the metal. There will be a plug under it here. So you want to disconnect the front one first, which is here. Don't yank it or you might pull out the cables from the actual socket and then you're screwed. You want to disconnect, so give it a little bit of a nudge until it just starts to come. Oh my god, I'm doing this in front of the camera, it's a bit awkward. Just bear with me for a moment. Okay, with a little bit of fighting I removed it, so the metal chassis will just drop off. And now we got the board totally separated from the machine. I'm going to put that here, and this is what we're dealing with now. Can I get that to zoom in a bit better? Hold on. So this is what we're dealing with here. Okay, so you want to have the power supply in the bottom right. This is how you want to view the board. And the chip that we are going to focus on is this one right here. Now the capacitors are blocking what you want to do, so you want to very gently, just if they're bent, just straighten them out the way, just enough. Done. So you don't want to touch that, and you don't want to cut these off. If you cut them off, it's not going to work. So avoid touching the capacitors as best you can. And what you want to do is, I'm going to show you with a screwdriver. You want to be going from the fourth one from the left. So you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. Okay, so we have a total, like I said, there's 8 here in total. You want to be on the left side. I can get a bit closer. You want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. This one right here needs to be cut, and some people say you need to totally remove it, but just cutting it is fine. I've done this on 2 of the Nintendos and it works just no problem. So cutting it and just making sure there's absolutely no connection is enough to stop it from resetting. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to cut that on camera, and if I can't, I will skip ahead. So I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna use some cutters here, and I'm gonna cut that, and then after it's been cut, I'm gonna show you what's done. I'll just skip it. It'll be easier because I need to get a hold of it, so I can't do this in front of the camera. So just a moment. Okay, with a little bit of cutting and persuasion, I've got it. So at the end, when you're done, it should look like this. It has to be totally disconnected. I've managed to just totally remove it from the top, and the bottom is just, it's left there, but it's not making a connection. It's totally disconnected, and that's all that you need. So just to confirm, do not mess this up. You want it to be the fourth one from the left. So you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. This one right here, you cut that, and that will solve the lockout chip problem. It will be the where are we at? Yeah, the CIC chip. CIC is the lockout chip. Just make sure it's that one there, and the fourth one. So we're gonna put this back together and we're gonna try it out. when putting screws in, you don't want to turn clockwise right away, because you will create new threads that will break the computer in the future. You want to go anti-clockwise until it drops back into position. That means you're dropping into the original threads that were put in, and that way you're not creating new threads and wearing down the screws. And by doing that, they screw in so much easier. Normally when you put in screws, they will have resistance, right, when you take them out. So I'll show you that again. You want to go anti-clockwise until it just drops in. You'll feel it there, and then you go back the other way, and then by doing that, you're going back into the original thread holes. So, small thing to look for. I know people might say, oh, but why are you putting it all back together? What if it doesn't work? From past experience, this is a sure fix. This will 100% every time work. I am very confident. Disabling the lockout chip is a sure fix. The only thing you got to worry about is just putting it back together. That's the hardest part. I'm so confident on that. So yeah, once you've cut that pin, you can just straight away put it all back together. It will boot up. It will be fine. Okay, last one's done. So we're back together. The Nintendo is repaired, and we're going to check if it works now. So let's go over to the TV. Okay, so we're all plugged up and ready to go. We are going to put in a game. It's in. We're going to use my controller. Just a moment. We're going to plug that up too. Okay. And let's see what happens. This should work fine. That's still giving me the color because I didn't plug it in properly. And boom, there we go. Oh, why are we not focused? So yes, we are working. We're gonna pick a game. Sorry, I had no idea what was going on there, but we are working. We are good to go. We're gonna pick Super Mario. STU Super Mario Brothers 3. Why not? USA version. Oh, what? With a European one, yeah, okay. And then select the ROM, and it's loading, and there it is. We have it working. And that's how you fix a Nintendo from the lockout chip. Very nice. Sorry for the flickering. I don't have the ISO set correctly on the phone, but you get the idea. So there we go. That's how you fix a broken Nintendo with a blinking red light with a lockout chip.